episode
Loaded
9
Sport.
Does he sit second, man?
No, I don't think he does. I think Kevin Keegan probably sits second.
Oh my God, what a scandal.
Austin Eckler versus the Cards. Go and fuck the lot of you.
God, Eckler.
He's making me like I'm some sort of cameo, like I've come in and go, hand out the bag, England to win.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Loaded Sport, where today we're going to be reviewing the weekend's action as the World Cup gets underway with the round of 16 stage for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, and we'll be reviewing a lot of what's happened in week 13 of the NFL season as well. Joining me to go through it is Skin, Sam and Mudge. Lads, welcome back.
I
How
thought
we doing?
I thought we were known as bloated sport from now on. Have we stuck with loaded sport then?
Yeah, copyright wouldn't allow it.
The fat.
That's why we dropped Kemp.
Holy shit.
Wow.
We've started early. We've started early.
Man's not even moved into his new home yet. He's already catching strays.
He's there, mate. He's there. Just, Kemp, if you listen to this, watch out for that water at the bottom of the stairs. It's a trip hazard.
Kemp, congratulations on the new house, bro. We love
Yeah,
it.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah. We're recording this Monday, the 5th of December, for release on Tuesday. And yeah, Kemp is not with us as he has been busy today moving into his new home. So congratulations.
Plenty of
from us.
shagging.
Yeah. Bland, get your son on them stairs. Get him christened. and do fucking... No, I'm going to stop.
Let's move on and talk about England on Sunday evening against Senegal.
Rein it back. Rein it back.
Ever the professional Aggie.
Flooring it back.
Don't want to be associated with that muck.
Back to what we're talking about. England getting through to the quarter-final of the World Cup for the second consecutive year. This time with a 3-0 win over Senegal. Skin, I'm going to come to you first for your thoughts on it, simply because for the second consecutive England game, you've got the score prediction bang on the money.
Wow.
What a guy.
It's going all right, isn't it? First 10-12 minutes really positive, in control. Senegal then had 15 minutes or so of looking like they fancied it. Pickford made a good save.
Half an hour.
Yeah, and then opening goal from that man Hendo, the only platform that would have predicted him getting on the score sheet. Completely switched the game and the momentum, and from there Senegal pressed a little bit more. They opened up a little bit more. There were more gaps in between the lanes even more, and England became clinical. Phenomenal performance, Aggie, weren't it?
Yes, mate, 100%. And from the end of the first half, towards the end of the first half, I thought as soon as we got that first goal, we might have looked a little bit nervy, but we need to put the pressure on to get the second. I thought, start the second half, get Rashford on for Saka, take the game straight to him and go on and win it. And we didn't even need Rashford to come on to do that. But a 3-0 win nonetheless into the quarterfinals. And Mudge got his goal scorer prediction as well, didn't you, Mudge?
Is what? Is Paul's goal scorer?
Paul's goal scorer, that's the
goal
one.
scorer.
I tell you what, if we thought Endo was outrageous, him predicting Paul Scholes against France is going to be even more so.
Best ginger on the pitch. Is that the award? The Paul Scholes award.
With bollock out.
Absolute fucking peanut took out.
I'll start.
Anyway, we take the glory, Mudge. Go on.
I'll start this with, you all laughed at me. Look who's fucking laughing now.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Don't fucking at this guy.
Don't at Mudge.
Yeah.
For that prediction.
I'll say, obviously, having predicted Jordan Henderson to score his second career England goal in the Senegal game was quite a stretch. However, the man came through for me, and yeah, you will not believe the elation I felt. My phone was blowing up. Apologies to the 10 ladies DMing me right now. If you weren't with me from the start, you're not with me when I go to the top. And
speaking of DMs, just very quickly before I forget, I don't know if you've seen in the forum this evening, but Paul Martin, one of our listeners, has asked if you can provide him with the weekend's lotto numbers. So just have a look for that and then drop him numbers before Saturday. I thought I'd get that in there while I remembered.
Paul, bear with me. I'll drop you a message and give you some numbers, mate. If you win, I want 20% of your total winnings though. So this shit don't come for free. But yeah, I mean, what an England performance. Obviously, Henderson bagging, Harry Kane with a sublime finish, and Saka kind of justifying his place in the starting lineup. I mean, it takes a lot of balls to remove someone who scored 2 goals and probably had an unbelievable game in Marcus Rashford. So fair play to Saka. And I thought, honestly, Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham were absolutely phenomenal yesterday. Fair fair play to our young stars, and I'm so excited for this France fixture. I think we want a real test, and it comes in the form of Kylian Mbappe and them boys. So
Doesn't come much bigger than that as a test.
no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Sam, what are your thoughts? I know you've got a lot to say on the England boys.
Yeah, well, you've covered most of it, to be fair, between the pair of you. But can I just say, how on earth... He played well, but how on earth did Harry Kane get man of the match over Bellingham?
No, mate, I saw that earlier. It was outrageous, wasn't it?
Crazy to me. Bellingham was absolutely outstanding. First half, even when it were going against us slightly, that first half an hour, we weren't particularly great. I commented in the chat how John Stones and Maguire just weren't seeming to be clicking well with this high press, but as soon as we got that goal, it just settled us right down. And Jude Bellingham just coming to the forefront of that, took control of the game in that centre mid area cam slot, and yeah, we were a joy to watch. Credit Southgate, because as we all were moaning pre-game that Rashford weren't getting a go, which we probably had a right to moan about it, but he's got it right once again with another big decision in bringing Saka in. So fair play to the guy. And just I think I've seen somewhere that England between 1968 to 2016 we had 6 knockout wins at major tournaments.
Wow.
6 since 68 and 2016. Gareth Southgate has equaled that.
That is
between
outrageous.
2018 and 2020, he also has 6. So that just
Not
puts
bad,
things
though, is it?
nice little stato for you to chew on.
You'd have to be a
it.
really, really stupid bastard to discredit.
Would you also have to be bold as well, by any chance?
That is a bonus as well.
Or a blade.
yeah. You'd have to really be something. Really
Just
be
a real piece of shit.
Yeah, just an absolute arsewipe to be discrediting
We are
what
going
he
in hard
does.
on Kemp tonight.
But
He's
enough
not
about
here to
Thomas
defend
Kemp.
himself.
Rightfully so. He's so anti-Southgate. He deserves a bit of shit for this.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's just hold our breath, and we'll get into this more later in the week, but South Korea have just got an absolute worldy goal, by the way.
Is it?
Time of recording. 25-yard out, top corner off volley, brilliant 4-1.
Game
Anyway,
on.
Come back on.
we'll save our actual thoughts for the preview show, of course, with the game being Saturday night, but I do think I know I'm the worst for it in this first 10 minutes or so, but we need to bite our tongues a little bit on Kemp's thoughts about Southgate, because Saturday night is the make or break. It's the
night.
haha, I told you so, or a go fuck yourself, Kemp. So we'll get into that, and hopefully he can make next week's review show.
Yes, I was
because
just about to say.
one.
I think he's joining us, isn't he, for the Thursday recording? So that should be a nice welcome for him to air his thoughts on the build-up of the England game.
I've got a quick question for all of you. Sam, you were just talking about Jude Bellingham there and how he didn't get man of the match, and it absolutely phenomenal. This is something we've discussed already, but I think with each performance, it needs highlighting and discussing even more. So a question to each of you. Jude Bellingham, 19 years old, January transfer window coming up. Even in the summer, a big team coming in for him, but does a big team try and get ahead of the game and get him in January? Right now, realistically, what do you think his outright price tag is for a team to buy him off of Borussia Dortmund? Adam, I'll start with you.
Okay.
I have no idea, mate. Considering how much you've seen people pay for the likes of Harry Maguire and Neymar, obviously going for, I think it was like 200 million in the end, wasn't it? Or they're expecting him to be worth like 200 million. I think for Bellingham, you're going to be looking a high, like over 140 million, something like that. They're going to be looking at selling him for. So I'd probably see someone like a Man City go in for him, even if it's just to maybe stop at the sides and maybe reduce Calvin Phillips' playtime even more. Someone like Jude Bellingham could really be important for a Guardiola side as he's starting to build for the future for when he leaves. So he's got quite a few younger players coming in at the moment. He says already, like you said, I think last week, that Foden's the only player in his entire team where there is no price tag for him. He's not going anywhere. And I think Bellingham's another piece to that puzzle where he's building that Man City squad so that when he's gone, they're still in a fantastic position that whoever comes in, there's not going to be too much that needs to be done to it to continue being competitive. So I reckon it's going to be a Man City sort of side that goes for him. And I'd like to see him in the Premier League. I think it'd be great to see Bellingham back in England playing in the Premier League, and because I think with Germany it is literally just Dortmund or Munich, isn't it? And it's like, I know Mudge has mentioned something similar with Mbappe playing in France. It'd be good to see some of these players come and play in England where there are multiple teams that are competitive. And I know Haaland's scoring for fun and he's continuing the form that he was in at Dortmund, but I'd imagine it's a bit tougher for him in England than it was in Germany.
Yeah, definitely. Sam, what about yourself?
I think Adam strayed from question a little bit there, didn't he? Really thinking about just asking how much you were going to go for.
Oh, sorry. Did you want just a one-word answer?
Well, no, mate, it's fine.
Over 140. There you go.
Appreciate the breakdown.
You just drifted slightly.
I'm just glad you didn't mention Chesterfield, mate. Honestly, in your answer.
That's good.
That's where Phillips goes out on loan when Bellingham goes in.
Still time for that.
Go on, Sam.
Yeah. So, interesting question that you want to get ahead of the curve and you want to sign them in January. I mean, you've got to be looking. Same as Ag said, it's at least triple figures in it. You're at least going for 100 mil. Maybe test water in January with 100 million. See what comes back from that, and it's a sticking point from there on, isn't it? But whatever it's going to be, it's going to be a hell of a lot. Probably the most, I'd say, for an Englishman. It's definitely the most for an Englishman. Actually thinking about that, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be.
If he was at a bigger club already, like your Liverpools, your Bayern Munich's, your Barcelona's, that he wouldn't be going. But Borussia Dortmund historically have been a selling club, so he'll leave at some point. It is just a matter of how much. What about you? What's your sort of rough figure that you'd see him going for at this moment in time?
So I think for me, I know it's interesting. Obviously, we're mentioning high prices for Jude Bellingham going, but you've got to remember Borussia Dortmund kind of got cornered in selling Haaland for slightly cheaper than I thought he would go for.
Yeah, was that due to a clause in his contract? Was it? Or?
Yeah. So I think,
sure.
I think City kind of triggered the release clause, didn't they? So I don't know off the top of my head what Jude Bellingham's release clause is, but I'd be interested to see what teams would do this summer.
I don't think he's got one, has he? Otherwise, I think it'd be documented.
I think
you'd think there'd be something in the papers by now, wouldn't you? Say, it's 50 million.
Yeah. I would probably go around the 120 mark. But if I was Jude Bellingham, this is going to be quite a weird answer. I wouldn't leave Dortmund until probably next year. I'd stay one more season there because the German league has done wonders for him. He reminds me a little bit in terms of like a Bastian Schweinsteiger in the way that he can control the middle. But he's also quite good at his finishing aspects of it as well. He's turning into a proper player. And I'm not saying him moving to a big team will stunt his growth. I think if you move to a City, then you've got Guardiola, probably the best coach in this era, kind of, controlling him and helping him grow and develop. But
a lot of England players in that City team as well. Do us good, I think.
I think playing for Dortmund over a City benefits him in the fact that, yes, Dortmund are one of the stronger teams in Germany, but they do have to play and fight for their wins and their success, especially in the Champions League. So if he goes to a team like City where they're dictating the game and 65%, 70% plus possession every game, I'm not, to be honest, 100% sure that would further his development in terms of his play style. Naturally, playing under Pep is going to be very good for any kind of player, of course, but I just think where he is at the moment and the style of play that he has to sort of play, I think benefits a little bit more, but that's my thoughts anyway.
I think you've got to also look at it in terms of Jadon Sancho. He's been a little bit unfortunate since he's come to United, but he was an absolute rocket in the Bundesliga as well. I would not want that to happen to Jude Bellingham, but what a bright spark he was for England. Him and Foden are definitely the future for England, and it'd be quite exciting. I think you'd have to be very, very excited heading into.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say you just have to be excited heading into Saturday with those two lads in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I was going to say two of the youngest talents in world football, and they're both English. It can't be bad, can it?
Moving on from England, then let's look at the results of the other round of 16 games that have gone on so far. We've got Netherlands beat USA 3-1, Argentina beat Australia by 2-1, and on the same day France beat Poland by 3-1. And on the day of recording, Japan lost to Croatia 3-1 on penalties to see Croatia through after a 1-1 draw. Sam, I know you posted something about how you felt that Japan may have been the only team you've seen in World Cup history that's worse than England at taking penalties.
Well, you've just took my line off me, so that's no point coming to me whatsoever, is there?
He didn't want a point, mate. He was just crediting you with that opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, innit? Now, it were a pretty competitive game, really, but I really thought Japan would have a bit too much energy for Croatia and them aging legs, but no, it doesn't seem that way. Croatia just experts at, well, don't even have to be experts at penalties, really. They were quite good, and Japan was absolutely fucking terrible. So yeah, I think they're probably the only team in World Cup history that are worse than us at penalties. So we can take great triumph from that.
And the fact that Japan are out, so we won't get the luxury of meeting them at any point in this World Cup. Skin, is there any teams that you've seen play in the round of 16 that you've now looked at and thought, I wouldn't mind if they got knocked out by another team and we got to avoid playing them? I assume France is one that everybody thinks of, though.
Brazil, mate. They've just finished 4-1.
Imagine getting Skinner an easy question like that and giving me fucking Japan, Croatia. Nice one, mate.
I know. yeah. Brazil, mate. We wouldn't play them until the final anyway. If we got to that point, if we get through France, we'll likely get Spain or Portugal in the semi-finals. But as we know, anything can happen. But yeah, Brazil, I think right now, based off of the fixtures so far, are the team to beat.
100%.
I'd have to agree with that as well. And I mentioned at the beginning, I'm just going to take my own credit for this, that at the beginning I said it was going to be a Brazil-France final, but my opinion of that's changed ever so slightly, that I've got a bit more belief that we could do something against France. Mudge, I know you've mentioned Australia to beat Argentina was obviously a bit of an upset that you'd gone for. Argentina won 2-1. Did they do enough to impress you to think that maybe they've got a chance? Because obviously they're in the opposite side of the tournament as well, so we wouldn't meet them until the final either.
I mean, they got the job done, which is fair enough. But like I said, I think I said in the previous podcast episode, Argentina have not looked like menacing or out of this world for this tournament, and they're still, I think, second favourite to win it. I think they're basing that off pre-tournament form. And I think Messi's got his hands full if he wants to get to the final. But you can never write them off because they've got such a talented squad. And fair play to Australia for only keeping it 2-1 against a world-class side like Argentina. But yeah, I think maybe I jumped the gun with that one a little bit. Maybe a bit too hopeful in thinking Australia can pull the upset. But no, I think for me, I agree with Dawson and yourself in regards to Brazil and France are the other two teams I'm a little bit worried about going into the latter stages.
Understandable, and of course we play France on Saturday. Sam, I'll come to you this time with a bit of an easier question, and I'm going to ask everybody the same question actually, so it's probably not going to be that much of a benefit for you. But looking at the fact that we're now halfway through the round of 16 stage, looking at the sides that have made it this far and some that have fallen, is there any team in there that you've really looked at and thought, I had absolutely no idea that they'd be able to get to this stage, and they've kind of surprised you a bit?
I mean, there's a couple that have already gone out that I was quite surprised. I mean, look, Morocco left to play tomorrow. They're very surprised they've come this far. I don't
How
want
did they top that group?
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about it. I'm not going to go through them all because I know obviously you've all been told to answer the same question. So, yeah, Morocco was a strange one thinking about that. And I think USA as well, I want to cover that game just quickly. They were really poor for me, USA.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good against us. And we Southgate got a lot of hammer for how bad we played, but we didn't give them enough credit. They were really good, really high energy against us and just stifled us from playing our brand of football. They didn't take any of that into that game, and the Netherlands were just too good. They had the perfect game plan. They just kind of sat back and just absorbed America had most at possession and most at, the
Fuck yeah.
pressure, but the Holland were just set up for that spring trap, lethal counter attack, and it played right into their hands. They were really poor. I thought USA were.
They have a world class player in Dumfries. I think he had a goal and 2 assists in that game.
Yeah, he did.
He is a big time international tournament player. He absolutely loves it, doesn't he? So
he was phenomenal at Euros as well last year.
Yeah,
Is that Inter Milan?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
A lot of rumours in the summer as well that Inter Milan were open to letting him go for a relatively decent price. I don't know if that will change now, but like Mudge said, he's now in his second tournament in a row where he's been phenomenal. He's like one of the best right backs in the world. So yeah, again, transfer window coming up. Does a team try and get in there like a Man United who've been rumoured as to looking for a right back and all that kind of stuff? Who knows? Will there be?
Ten Hag's a big fan apparently.
Yeah, I think Ten Hag's probably the perfect coach for him as well in terms of style of play. So I think he'd be great at United.
Fair enough, Skin. I'll just ask you then about the underdogs so far of the tournament.
I'd probably say Japan, based on who'd got this far, especially considering they topped the group by beating Spain and Germany. They would be my answer.
Fair enough. And
It went
Mudge?
out today, so it don't really matter anymore, does it?
No, fair enough. Mudge?
I think Switzerland have gone under the radar.
Yeah.
Switzerland have had a really solid group stage so far. So I think they're playing some good brand of football at the moment, and I'm quite pleasantly surprised with Switzerland. I think Sam obviously mentioned Morocco. Morocco had no right topping that group. I don't think there was a single, even a Moroccan person would have not said Morocco had topping that group. So fair play to them. Switzerland and Morocco are my surprises so far.
Excellent. So let's just mention, and we'll finish off by talking about the England game from the opposition perspective. We spoke about how well England played, but any credit given towards Senegal? Sam, we'll start with you.
Credit? No, I thought they were terrible. After maybe half an hour, they pressed pretty well, and as I said, they caused us a bit of issues in regards to playing out from the back. But once we got that first goal, you could just see it just deflated them. I thought they were just so naive. That's probably the word I'd use. Just the press. They should have sat back and they should have dug deep for a result and just tried to play gritty football. They didn't. Fair play. I mean, you got to credit them to some aspect, but they were just so naive to come at us the way they did without Mane, without I think Idrissa Gueye. They were missing some big players for them, and they just weren't set up to play how they wanted to play. And we just managed to pick them apart and made it look easy. And I ain't got much praise for Senegal, I'm afraid.
No, that's fair enough. I'd have to agree with what you said. Like, they looked quite strong, but even after conceding just the one goal, knowing how calamitous England's, I think that's the word I'm looking for, England's defence can be, they didn't really try and put too much pressure on to force into any of those errors. Skin, your thoughts?
Completely agree with what Sam said, mate. They had a good spell, sort of from 10 minutes in up until that first goal where they looked like they could snatch a goal, a couple of good chances. Skied one where probably should have been on target. Pickford made the good save that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, other than that, it was a dominating performance. They had one or two chances. They should have took them. They didn't. It's knockout football in the World Cup. You can't afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mudge?
I agree. I think in the end England showed their class and quality over Senegal, but I do want to credit them because I thought the press at some points gave us trouble. Like John Stones and Harry Maguire looked all over the shop at the back, and if it wasn't for Pickford's unbelievable save, that the dynamic of the game could have been a little bit different, being 1-0 down. I thought. I think if they had bagged that goal, I think they would have definitely sat back and tried to protect that lead. But like the lads are saying, you can't press against England. We've got too much quality going forward. Bellingham, Foden and Kane just tore them apart on the counter, and I think that's what made yesterday's win so good is the brand of football we played. We just look so good going forward.
So let's have a look at the locks that we all looked at on the preview show last week and the scores that everybody got. I absolutely nailed it last week, so I'm expecting a very disappointing result. I've not counted up the totals, but I've got down who's got what correct. We'll start with, on the football side of things, Skin, going with...
Go on, boy. Start with me.
3 out of 3 for you on the football side of things.
Yes, mate.
Solid.
What do they have? Argentina, Messi, and Cameroon to get at least a point.
Cameroon to get a point.
Brazil.
Now, you've had this.
At least
Sam's had
You've
this.
got serious problems with this, haven't you?
I do.
Yeah,
I don't like it. It's
my
not really...
issue with you having an issue is that you didn't have an issue last week when Sam raised it.
Because I thought it was a one-off. I'll be honest. I thought it was a one-off when Sam was going for
I don't
just
think so.
1 point.
I wish you'd take your pants off.
And then...
I don't see it as an issue.
Is it a wild card if you're saying a team just not to lose? No.
What, Cameroon? Right, let's reverse that. The fact that you had Brazil as your lock, are you telling me that I can't have the other team to get at least a point as my wild
That's
card?
a very
Correct.
good point.
No,
It really is.
I don't think you can. No, I think
Federer
if you're going
esque
Cameroon to
returns in a
win,
bit.
if you're having Cameroon to win,
All right,
then
I have
fair
Cameroon
enough.
to win then. Oh, look, they did. So I'm still at the 3 out of 3.
No, I'm with Skin on this one. I think he's got every right to back that.
I just think
Yeah,
going
I
for
agree.
a point. But there we go. You've got 3 out of 3.
Being
Cameroon
argumentative, you should be congratulating the boy.
got at least a point for you.
I
Yeah,
know.
well done. Yeah,
Imagine me getting 3 out of 3 and coming out of it feeling like absolute shit.
Mate,
Well,
he's
good. Don't go
fucking
for a point next time.
rate you through
Ah.
polls there.
There you go. Argentina, Messi, Cameroon to get a point. All 3 correct. Well done.
I gave Harry Kane honourable mention as my backup
Just
for
me?
Messi as
Okay.
well.
That
Yeah,
was
thanks,
a
Sam.
Adam's congratulations.
There's no head, though.
Adam's congratulation there was a proper come down with me.
Ah,
Enjoy the money.
hope you're happy.
Sad little life.
Yeah.
You did finish joint first in the football predictions with Sam, who got
Eee.
all 3 of his correct as well.
Go on, boy.
France,
Yes.
Giroud, and South
done, Sam.
Korea. So
Wait,
well done for
mate,
Sam on that one.
Say that again, mate, because that you talked over it. I want to let's relay that again. Let me hear that again.
Oh.
France,
Top-
Giroud, and South Korea.
France is my
Oh.
lock. Giroud and South Korea. South Korea, what a call that is, by the way.
Great shout,
Yeah.
mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Thank you
done.
very much.
Just
Thank you very much.
just let us congratulate you on that, Sam. All right, fucking.
Mate, honestly, I've got to get in. I've got to get in before Adam berates me. I've got to pat myself on.
You're
that.
fine, mate. No, you're fine this
What are
week.
you doing picking Giroud? He was joint top scorer for France going into game.
How dare you?
That's
Yeah,
what a lock
it's
is,
bad,
mate.
that,
It's
innit?
fine with that. It's the wild card that I had in it.
Troll under the bridge.
It's fine. It is what it is. Look forward
Yeah.
to somebody picking up
3
on
of 3.
next week.
Take that.
Then Mudge, you got 2 out of 3 on the football side of things. England to win.
Yeah.
Australia, you put it to win as the wild card, which didn't happen. But you
Yep.
got Jordan Henderson, which I think just trumped anything anybody's done in any of these podcasts.
Mate,
Yeah,
that's
So,
worth
I think I
3
get-
points.
Yeah, I think that's like a bonus of 3 or 4. I mean, that is the most ludicrous claim ever made on radio or podcast. So, yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's I'm taking that to my grave. That will be on my gravestone. That Hendo to bag anytime 12-1.
Let's just think about that. Jordan Henderson, let's think about it. Jordan fucking Henderson had previously scored 1 goal in an England shirt,
Yeah.
and he's turned up to a World Cup. Didn't even start the opening few games, and he's come in, and this cunt over here is calling him for a goal scorer as his essential lock goal scorer of the week.
Yeah.
And he's come in with flying colours. Wow.
See, it's this is where it's like it's fucked him over for the future, because we know he
Yeah.
partly said Henderson just for the conversation and just for the content, but now he's bagged. He's set up this like mystique about himself
Yeah.
that he's got to live up to now.
Mystic Mudge, innit? That's it.
It's
Yeah,
now
let's
got
do it.
to a point where I'll be setting up a payment plan. So if you want locks and
Patreon.
bets, you need to DM me, because these won't be public. It won't be public knowledge anymore.
Like tennis.
Yeah.
Presented
Yeah.
without further
Move-
context.
Moving swiftly on.
Let me give you context on that. So,
He's going to put it out there on the
Got
public
Yeah,
brave.
forum.
He's got
I will.
brave.
The
'cause
floor
I
is
know-
yours.
I wonder if he's listening. But Jonathan Walsh, a lad at work.
It's fucking. He's both named him.
Oh my god! What a scandal!
Where
What a
is he?
scandal.
Where
We're
is this
gonna-
guy?
Jonathan-
This is the first domino. This. Oh my god!
So Jonathan
Bring
Walsh
him
at
to
work.
me.
This was at the height of COVID. He had messaged me on WhatsApp going, "Mate, I've got an absolute cert. There's this lovely Serbian man who knows a couple fixes in the tennis world." And I was like, you're in COVID. You need a bit of cash. And you're like, yeah, set me up. So me, him, and another lad I won't mention because he is
You like
a
him?
father now. He can't be shamed into these things.
Can't be
but,
dragged into this ring.
no, but rest assured, obviously, I passed on that tip to everyone in the friend group. I even passed it on to my best mate Liam's parents and his wife's parents. And lo and behold, long story short, my tip lost in 43 minutes, which is probably a record in terms of a tennis match.
Now,
So,
to back this story up, we all had it up on when you bet over a certain amount. Obviously, Bet365 will let you watch a particular match. We was all watching it on our own at home, and it was the fucking worst quality tennis match I had ever seen in my life. And to say one of these players is supposed to have had a bung to take a loss, the other guy was just that bad. They weren't letting him lose.
yeah.
And, honestly, it was.
And do you know what?
I can't lose this, or it's too obvious that I've thrown game.
This is the best bit. Our Serbian plug basically told us that the player had he just didn't receive the message in time. So he didn't take any, he didn't take any responsibility for it. He's blamed the player, saying he's not received the messages. So I think I've hopefully managed to claim back some points on the absolute fix scandal that took place.
You have, mate. But our TalkSport deals don't drain now, so.
And finally,
Adam, how did you get on, mate?
well, I didn't. I may as well have not have. I got the same amount as Kemp, and he didn't even take part.
Wait, you didn't get any right?
You're
I got
joking,
Brazil
mate.
to win. They lost. I got Rashford to score. He didn't even start. and I got Fleetwood to beat Ipswich, and they drew. So if I'd taken
mate.
your advice and gone for a point and sold out, then
That's
I'd have got a
shocking.
point for that. But I didn't.
It's your
It's
fault for
poor for
going
you,
for
mate.
fucking Fleetwood and Ipswich. No one is watching that fucking game right now, mate.
That Brazil, that was a bad lock. A lock is
Yeah.
supposed to be something that you're willing to put your house on.
I
If
thought
it's coming back.
It's the result that you are most confident in that weekend.
If someone's got a gun to your head and you're going to survive on that result, you pick Brazil knowing they'd already qualified. They're playing a Cameroon team that needed to win, and they were going to rest players, and you backed Brazil
I
to the
thought they were
hills.
still good enough.
It's a bad lock, that.
I thought their backups were still good enough. I think Brazil's just got that strong of a squad. But yeah, I got 0 out of 3 on football. So as it stands after the football side of things, if we're giving it, Mudge is first on 5 points out of a possible 3. Then joint
Cristiano
second.
Ronaldo, Sui.
Then joint second is Skin and Sam, both on 3, and I'm last on 0 points. That's it for the football side of episode 10. We're back in just a few moments' time, where we'll be talking and reviewing the 13th week of the NFL season. Welcome back to episode 10 of
Loaded
Loaded
Sport.
Sport.
Sexy
Okay,
Davey.
we're carrying on.
Loaded Sport. Yeah, carry on, mate. Go for it.
No, I was letting you two have your little sing-along. Episode 10 of Loaded Sport, we move on to speak about week 13 of the NFL season, but we start by discussing breaking news in the last couple of hours, which is that Baker Mayfield has been released by the Carolina Panthers. The former number 1 overall pick, who was taken by the Cleveland Browns, traded earlier on in the season to Carolina, has been released. Mudge, I know you've not been a fan of Baker Mayfield for quite a while, and I think you've got to the point now where you're pretty much just saying it's confirming what you knew, isn't it?
I think in terms of Baker Mayfield, I think sadly the Browns were duped into taking him after one good season. I think it says a lot about the jump from college to NFL at times, and Baker Mayfield has he's shown glimpses of a good play, but more often than not his pocket presence isn't great. And I thought his move to the Panthers would be a resurgence. It could have been a resurgence, but honestly, I'd be very surprised if he lands a starting job anytime soon anywhere in the NFL.
Can I just add a little tiny bit of context that might completely change people's thoughts and mindsets on this? But his release from the Panthers was after he requested it this morning. So it's something he requested, not something the Panthers were throwing back. You said there much about a team not picking him up. Based on how long he's left on the season, the contract that he had on the Panthers, and the fact that he was due to be out of contract at the end of the season anyway, a team that would pick him up would only owe him $1.3 million. So you look at a team like Niners, who are looking prime for a playoff spot, but now playing Mr. Irrelevant, or whatever it is, in Brock Purdy, who was the last player drafted in the most recent draft in April. Do they take a shot on having someone like Baker as a backup or potential starter for them for such a low fee? I think that's where I see him going personally, but we'll see once he clears waivers.
Can I just say, how fuming is Christian McCaffrey if he's tried to escape Baker from Panthers?
Unbelievable.
And he manages to that baggage on at the 49ers going, fucking hell, I can't get away from this guy.
Funnily enough, I have the same outlook as Dawson, and I think the Niners should and will pick him up. Reason being, excuse me, it's a very QB-friendly scheme, I think. They don't ask the quarterback to put the game on their shoulders. They just literally ask them to essentially run an offense, and that's it. They've got a massive run game. They've got a great defense. Just get someone in there. Just try not to turn the ball over and just run the offense as basic as you can. I think he can potentially do that. And I think playing Mr. Irrelevant, I don't think they need to do that. I think if Baker Mayfield's there, as Skin said, for just over $1 million, I think that's a no-brainer for me.
My issue with Baker Mayfield always has been his ability to turn over the ball quite consistently. So I do agree. I think if he does go to the 49ers, then it's quite a solid pickup considering what's out there on free agency. But he is so rogue. He's always very, very happy to sling it into double coverage when, it's almost not there. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. It'll be interesting. But I think I've never been too big on him. And I think it'd be a hindrance to the 49ers, but we'll see.
I'm just looking, and the majority of what it's saying is the 49ers or the Rams, and I think the Rams, it makes absolutely zero sense. They've got nothing to fight for this season. They may as well just see what they've got with the other quarterbacks that are available, see through the rest of the season and let it be. Like you say, with the 49ers, it might make a little bit more sense with them fighting for the playoffs, but I don't mind if they sign him or not. I'd be more than happy with the fact that we should now be favourites for the NFC West.
Who is we? I
Seahawks.
assume the Seahawks, of course, yeah.
Would you agree?
I agree. I think from a underdog story purpose, it'd be great to see the Seahawks win that division. I have a question for the group. In terms of the Rams, obviously they won it all last year. Is this the biggest downfall of a currently defending Super Bowl champions that you've ever seen in recent years?
It's definitely up there. I think
far as I can remember.
Panthers are probably not far behind them, but yeah, this is worse than Panthers, I think.
Well, no, Broncos won that one, didn't they?
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, of course they did.
And Broncos probably fell down quite bad as well, didn't they?
They did.
That defense disbanded. They were back to square one almost.
Yeah.
I think it had something earlier that this is the Broncos' 6th consecutive season where they've finished on a losing record.
Broncos Nation. That's right.
I tried. Just going back to your previous question, what you asked Mudge. I don't think I do have you. We're still winning the division. I'm still backing the Niners. I think the Niners are that used to playing without QB1. They've just over the last 5 years, it seems like every season they're playing without their first choice quarterback.
It's a good point.
And I just think that used they win games in December. They always will when they've got that good defense and a good O-line. I think if you just stick a par QB, even slightly below par in Baker, I still have them. I think they've got throughout the squad. I think they've got a little bit more grit than what the Seattle Seahawks have got at the minute.
I think we don't write off Brock Purdy. Apparently, a lot of that locker room has got his back, and Jimmy G went out relatively early in that game yesterday, and he led them to a pretty convincing win against the Miami Dolphins team that were absolutely flying before that. I think they'd won 6 of their previous 7 games. We're one of probably top 3 teams in the AFC. So don't write off Brock Purdy being the starter moving forward, like you said, Sam.
Yeah,
and Mudge, you mentioned it as well. You don't need an outstanding elite quarterback in that system.
No,
so
that's true.
If he's got the locker room, if he's spent all season sort of running that system, maybe they run with him and give him a shot.
I think with them, did a massive job against Miami as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that it's their defense is their X factor. So if their defense can keep playing at this level, I think they're still going to be in games. Fred Warner is probably my favourite linebacker in the league. He is absolutely phenomenal. They're built to suffocate. So yeah, it'll be a good finish for sure.
Boys, guess what we forgot?
Oh,
what we forgot?
We forgot a competition reminder.
Oh,
do it.
So if you haven't already, make sure you head on to our previous podcast and give us a listen, because there's a hidden question somewhere that all you need to do is give us the answer to on one of our social media platforms, with it being Facebook at Loaded Sport. No, that's Twitter. Facebook is Loaded Sport and Twitter is at Loaded Sport. And you'll be in with a chance of getting a £50 Amazon gift voucher. And I do apologise that it's taken this long to remind you, but if you're still sticking about listening, then fair play to you.
Wow, what a great prize.
Thank you for the reminder. Let's move on to players of the week then within the NFL. Sam,
I'll go first.
Sam. I went to Skin last time and it cost Sam. And he's been cursing me ever since. I've been getting hate mail, so I'm going to go to Sam first.
Oh, mate, I'll curse you regardless. I'll curse you after this one.
Well, fuck it then. We'll go to Skin.
I'm
Don't
sticking.
Fucking do it.
I'm backing with my boy onto 17. Are we good?
Fuck off.
Number 17, my homeboy Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I'm good.
8 receptions, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 22.1 average per catch. I am going for my boy, and I just want him to come home. Just come home, baby. That's all I want.
Adam, next time you're coming to me first.
Yeah, this is
to be fair to Mudge, I don't think he's ever gone to Mudge first for anything. So I think he's due one.
This is only his 2nd episode, to be fair. So let's
third.
My 2nd episode.
Fucking hell!
Is it
He's
third
just
episode?
slapped you in the face.
I've been on 4 episodes. You absolute turd.
There we
They
go.
were on episodes before I started.
There we go. So
You're making out like I'm some sort of cameo. Like
Here we go.
he's coming. He's making me like I'm some sort of cameo. Like I've come in and go, hand out the bag, England to win.
I mean, you may as well have done.
Yeah, I might as well go fuck myself.
That's what Adam heard anyway.
So we'll go to Skin so that Mudge can find another one. Unless Mudge, have you got a second?
Go fuck yourself.
Skin will come to you for second then.
All right, I'm going to go to a man that has been lauded this season for his rushing ability. He's led the league in rushing touchdowns at his position. He got one this weekend, but he only finished with 5 carries for 12 yards. So I am going to give the man his flowers and this credit for pulling out an MVP-like performance at the role that he is there to play. Jalen Hurts of Mudge's Philadelphia Eagles in a 35-10 win against the Tennessee Titans to put them at 11-1.
11-1
remain
is crazy.
It is crazy and keeps them ahead of the now 10-2 Minnesota Vikings. Jalen Hurts yesterday went 29 of 39 for 380 yards and 3 passing touchdowns.
That's
and
really
then, like
good.
I said, only 5 carries, 12 yards, 1 touchdown. He has been for me, the single best dual threat quarterback over the season. It could be argued that Justin Fields has been the best out in recent form, but over the season for me it has been Jalen Hurts. But yesterday he kept his feet in the pocket and he showed what he can do with his arm. So yeah, 380 yards, 3 passing touchdowns and 35 points against the defense that have been very, very strong up until that point. He's right up there in the MVP race, isn't he, Mudge?
Yeah, I will make a point in this. Mystic Mudge strikes again because you can go through the chat.
Yeah.
Last year, I claimed Jalen Hurts would be one of the best dual threat QBs in the league, and I got everything ripped out of me for saying that because, I mean, obviously he wasn't the passer he is this year, but Jalen Hurts so good, baby. Can I go for my player of the week?
Yes,
Adam,
mate,
Go for it.
I'm going to stick with the Eagles. I'm going to go with AJ Brown against his former team, the Titans. He was teetering on me being my pick, but you can't go against 177 yards like Devontae Adams did. I mean, he's playing at an unbelievable level right now. But AJ Brown, who was really ill, he burst a blood vessel in his eye from throwing up too much. Turned up, 8 receptions, 119 yards, 2 tutties. He was on a vengeance tour against these because obviously they traded him away to us, the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think he's going to be sleeping well tonight after that performance.
I think that's a great shout. I was stuck between 2 to go for, and for a change, neither have actually been taken. So I'm going to give an honorary mention to Joe Burrow, but I'm going to give mine to Geno Smith. I think I'm finally.
Oh, G money.
Towards,
Not biased much.
Before the season, I didn't feel too confident with Geno starting as our quarterback, but throughout the season, he's gained my confidence for definite. And then against the Rams, 28 out of 39, 367 yards, so only 13 yards short of what Hurts got. 3 passing touchdowns, the same as Hurts. The difference is Hurts got a rushing touchdown as well. Geno got 2 rushes for 3 yards, and with 3 minutes left to go, the Rams were leading us by 4 points, and we needed a touchdown. And the way he led the Seahawks up the field and finally got that pass off to DK Metcalf to get us the win against the Rams, I'm going to give my player of the week to Geno Smith.
Pure politician there. You left out the fact that I threw an interception, didn't you?
Yeah. Threw 2, did he?
No, he fumbled.
One.
He fumbled.
You got to paint the full picture here.
Just fumbled other one. Threw an interception
Fumbled,
other time. 2 turnovers.
Yeah, but
player
look,
at week.
It happens occasionally.
Played an absolutely dead Rams team, just scraped past them, but yeah.
Look, mate, I think
Player
he's
of
had
the
a
week.
cracking time. I don't really give a shit what you're going to say about it. He's getting my
Player of the
Oh
week.
my God!
Holy crap.
Put it in the jingle.
so there you
This
go.
is a family fucking show, mate.
No, I'm giving it to Gino, but there we go. Moving on to the locks of the week and the wild cards that we discussed over this week, and finally, I can get some points on the board. I think I did finish actually joint first on the NFL side of things. I got all 3 correct: the Bills, Montgomery, and the Cincinnati Bengals, all 3 to win.
Wow, good pick. That fair play to you.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah, that I know. Me and Adam are in a prediction league with a few other people, and we all chose the Chiefs. Adam doubled down on the Bengals, and fair play. That's a great lock.
Thank you. Joint first with Mudge, who got all 3 of his correct, giving him a
Ooh.
total
Mudge.
score of 8 out of a possible 6. He
Wow.
got the
Damn.
Ravens to win. Hurts to get a touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Sorry, Hurts to get a rushing touchdown, and the Raiders to win the wild card game against the Chargers.
Very
The
good.
wild card game. Didn't realise it was playoffs already.
Playoff season. It's the best weekend of the year.
This is
Wild
really
card weekend.
I'm just trying to think of who was it. Mudge that also went for the Texans against the Browns as the game of the week.
Oh,
No, I want to
no
mention.
disrespect.
I
said,
wanna mention
in terms
this
of box office value, I said you don't want to peel your eyes away from that Texans Browns game. And you know what? I think Skin will back me up on this. The Browns defense were quite. They were like that was a good show. I think from that unit.
It was. I mentioned. We'll get into it in a second, but I'll spoil it now. I got my score wrong because I went with Nick Chubb, thinking that he'd have to carry the Browns through to victory. He had a good game, but he didn't score. But yeah, definitely that defense.
I think you took that from me, and also I'm buzzing with that.
I did. Yeah, I took it from you, and then you ended up with Jacobs, who did score. But yeah, 30 points. The Browns defense got me on fantasy yesterday. Pretty much won me the game. I needed that big time as I was probably going to be quite far behind. They had a pretty average game, so yeah, they definitely won that game for them. And Deshaun Watson was fucking wank. Which I called as well, but
You did, yeah.
it's not the most outrageous of picks, so or predictions.
Moving on to Sam's locks and wildcard, whilst we're on the discussion of the Cleveland Browns. Sam
Yeah,
got
baby.
2 out of 3 correct. He got the Browns to win. He got Jacobs to get a touchdown, which I think
Nice.
we've already mentioned. Mudge has already mentioned about how well he's been playing this season, and he also got the Jets to win. Which didn't quite.
Yeah,
Okay. They're close.
Yeah, that was my wild card.
It's not a bad pick though. It's not a bad
No.
pick, is it?
No, they were very
They-
close to doing.
They had a great chance. They came back about 1:40 left on clock. Mike White threw an
Seen it.
absolute pinger, didn't he? Which Berrios didn't bring in. So fair play to you, mate. That's about as good as getting it without actually getting it.
Yeah, can't win them all. I think I got what was it, 5 out of 6? I think this week.
5 out of 6 this week, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take that. I think that's only bettered by Mudge's lofty 8. I think there.
Yeah. They'll never be beaten, to be honest.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, that's someone needs to look at the scoring because
The scoring system's out of whack.
yeah.
I'm more than happy to give you 5 out of 6, but Skin said give you all
No,
3
you're
points
all
for
right.
that.
Give me the
so,
8. Anyway, yeah.
There we go. And then Skin, with his predictions, he got 1 out of 3 on
Boo.
the NFL side of things. He got the
Ooh, dear.
Seahawks winning against the Rams.
Yeah.
He got Chubb to get a touchdown, which did not happen. And
Yeah.
had you applied what you'd done on the wild card with Cameroon to the Commanders, you'd have probably got 5 out of
but
6
let me just
as
stop
well.
you there. You see what he's done there? He's fell on his face with the others, but his lock is his lock. His lock has stood by him. So that's what you should be doing with your locks every single time, and that's what you didn't do when picking Brazil.
Oh mate, I
The
didn't get my
team that
lock
you
or
are
my
most
wild card or anything
confident
on the
in
football
winning.
side of things. I had an absolute nightmare on that side.
Finger my ass.
No thanks. So it's finished with me on 3 out of 6, and then Sam on
3 out of
Skin on 4 out of 6 in third place, Sam on 5 out of 6 in second, and Mudge winning with an incredible 8 out of 6 because Jordan
Never to be
Henderson
beaten.
scored.
And I
a
will
bloody
say
goal.
this: Kemp has consistently scored 0 out of 6 every week because his takes are absolutely shocking.
Wild.
So,
Wild.
another diss at our boy who's sadly not here, but a little nugget for him to laugh at when he listens back to this.
Bless him.
So that's all we've got time for with the NFL. We'll move on now to talk about the boxing that took place on Saturday night between Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora. Sam, I'll start by just saying well done to you because that actually puts you now on 6 out of 7 with your predictions because you got the winner and the correct round. So well done for that.
I mean, I am not taking credit for backing the winner any way, shape, or form there because I think every man and his dog, a blind man could have picked a winner out there. So I'm taking full credit for picking round 10 because I said that's what the second fight finished at. So I purely backed it by mirror image. But no, I'm not taking credit for the picking the right boxer, because that was a fight that should have never happened in the first place, and that is my opinion on the matter.
Fair enough. You did have a grumble in the preview show about the price and the fact it was on
Ooh, £27.
Sky Box Office. Did you watch the fight at all? I assume not.
I did not.
No.
No, I did not. I thought I would stage a bit of a mini protest. Didn't even watch it on IPTV. I thought, you know what, this is a fight I don't need to see. I already know an outcome, and I didn't watch it.
Mudge, any surprises from your side? I know you're a big fan of boxing.
No, not really. I think it says a lot about Tyson Fury's intent. He needs to fight AJ. This was the fact that they were charging 20 odd quid for people to watch his fight. I didn't pay that to watch it. I actually protested, like Sam said he did as well. So yeah, no surprise. I mean, it's a mismatch. He needs to fight AJ. I think it would be terrible of him to not give AJ that fight. And I think that will probably spark a bit of excitement back into the heavyweight division, because I think it's falling flat on its arse at the moment.
Correct.
Brings me on nicely to speak to you, Skin, about not just the fight.
Heavyweight. Fucking heavyweight. Oh, fucking on fire. Talking about heavyweight division brings on to Skin.
I don't know what to say.
No,
well, that was a really.
I think this is the last episode I'm gonna be in. So
Poor guy.
Why? No. Let me finish before you start slating what I'm saying. I'm talking about the fact
we're
that
not slating what you're slating, mate. Saying we're highlighting that you just slated the fuck out of me and called me a fat cunt.
Called him morbidly obese.
By saying what I'm saying. So let me finish what I'm saying before you start slating it and how I'm
that
insulting
goes on
you.
nicely to Skin.
Yes, because
Adam,
he's talking about the fight that's needed next. I'm coming across to you to talk about what happened at the end of the fight, building
Would
up
you
to
say
what
you
could
are a gangster
potentially be
rapper?
Fury's next fight.
Oh,
I would not consider Adam to be a gangster rapper.
it's Adam. The name that obviously we had a secondary name. We were thinking of calling ourselves Bloated Sport. Did you get that from looking at Skin's profile picture on Facebook?
Fucking hellfire.
That's what you're insinuating, mate. It's really poor form from you.
Jeez Louise.
If
He's
you
got
let
that
me finish,
from old
you'd know
nudes
what
I
I'm
sent him
saying.
to chat.
Skin, over to you.
Yeah. Anyway, Skin, mate, crack on.
Yeah. Anyway, as I
Crack on, chunk.
yeah, can't wait to go and look in mirror later. No more nuddies coming your way, lads. I think. It's fucking right throwing me off.
It's got in his head that.
I can't believe it.
Just keeps having a quick glance in mirror.
Oh god, he's absolutely no beard. The fight is the fight. We spoke about it last week. The main story coming out of it, I think, is the face-off, the confrontation, whatever you want to call it, however you want to address it, between Fury and Usyk. Fury has come in and out of retirement more than Terry Funk this year. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know if he's coming or going at Ben Musgrove. And is it finally going to happen? Is next summer Wembley Stadium or where Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Is it going to finally be Fury versus Usyk for all the heavyweight belts? Who knows? But I don't think that you can have that kind of confrontation and then not make that fight happen. I think it'll make Fury look a little bit silly. To say what he said and do what he did, and then
old gappy teeth.
Gappy teeth as they call him. So yeah, that's the main story coming out of that fight. I think is whether that will now happen next year. But there's only one way to find out. Fury will no doubt change his mind a million times between now and then, or now and next summer, and then it will never happen anyway. But yeah, it's
apparently Fury kept asking him why he's got the London look.
God.
Would there be?
Had a few many times, hasn't he?
I know you're all looking forward to seeing the Fury Joshua fight. Would there be many complaints if this was to be Fury's next fight?
No.
I think this is what I'm saying. I think Fury has cheated the public out with this fight against Chisora, because there's no real excitement around it. I mean, he's beaten him 2 times before. It was going to be what happened is what we expected to happen. I think with the AJ fight and the Usyk fight, I think he goes into kind of muddy waters a little bit. I mean, he is still my favourite to win the 2 fights against Usyk and AJ.
Agreed.
But I don't know. I think he's just being a bit of a
little bit more jeopardy, isn't he, with them 2 fights?
Yeah, I think he's being a bit of a tease. Maybe he's hoping for,
tease me, baby.
Exactly. I think for him to be an all-time great, I think he needs to be everyone that has kind of existed in the division.
Absolutely.
And, I think honestly, it sounds bizarre. I think he's ducking AJ. Weirdly, I kind of have to take a limit with that because I think they're both as bad as each other. I think it's just toing and throwing so much between each camp. I don't know. It's an absolute farce that we've not had that fight this far down the line in the careers. I think both of them are equally to blame for it. Yeah. But I think he's got nowhere to go. If he picks another bum to fight, I think people are going to lose interest in him.
Yeah, it's got to be Usyk or AJ next. It's got to be
easily.
Fair enough, lads. Thanks a lot for joining us to review.
Whoa! You need to stop trying to cut off the episode so quickly, mate. I've got my question of the episode.
What is the question?
It's going to tie in nicely to what's been discussed. So, Mudge, this one is to you.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Adam's fat dick or my fat gut?
I want to see what your perspective's like, Skin, in terms of the daily abuse you receive for your great gut. So give me that. Adam, that is absolutely shocking for me.
Heavyweight division, that goes on nicely to me. He said nicely.
Skin will be doing sit-ups after this is finished recording.
I'm going for a run.
He's going for full Rocky montage, isn't he?
Nutty Professor one.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
We done?